Greetings everyone, Jonathan here from Plagiarism Today, and if you've been on Facebook lately, you've probably seen someone or got someone on your feed who is posting some kind of weird legal-ish thing about how, their posts are copyrighted by them and they don't authorize Facebook or anyone else to do anything with them, not for commercial use, blah blah blah, pound the table, these are my rights, I am enforcing them. And they've been going around Facebook pretty virally. Facebook's actually responded already, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But the main thing here is, guys, this is stupid. I mean, let's just be honest here. We have to kind of backtrack, though. The whole thing started when Facebook did something that I think we can describe as a little douchey, and that is they made a pretty big change to the terms of service, the terms that you agree to by using Facebook. And they made that change the Wednesday before Thanksgiving in the U.S., kind of the time they were sure nobody would be on Facebook, at least in the United States. And they, for the most part, were right. Most people didn't pick up on it until the weekend after Thanksgiving or this week. And that's when people started freaking out and started, A, misinterpreting what was in it, and B, doing something completely asinine to thwart what they thought was in it. I mean, basically, the main change that came down was that Facebook is no longer having its users vote on future changes. That's something that most companies already have, so it's not really new in the sense that it's new to Facebook. It's not new to TOSs in general. In fact, I think Facebook was pretty rare in that it had user input at all incorporated into its terms of service. But that being said, it was still one of those things that made people or gave people a little peace of mind when it came to Facebook and their privacy and their copyrights, etc. And they took it away and they did it in the dark of the night. That really upset a lot of people. And so that caused some people to draft this, like I said, legal-ish thing, post it to their wall, and just assume that would take care of it. It'd be over. And that's just silly because, even if Facebook were looking to yank your copyright or to do something even more drastic, I don't really see how posting anything to your wall is going to supersede the terms of service you agree to, which is essentially a binding contract. That's like the whole sign the contract but cross your fingers behind your back thing and trying to, say, I didn't mean it, ha, and it doesn't work that way, just trust me. So it's silly, but what I find interesting isn't the silliness itself, but the fact that it's 2012, it's late 2012, and this type of stuff is going on matters of copyright. One of the things I was really hoping to be a long-term good out of the SOPA and PIPA protest in January is we'd have a more engaged populace on matters of copyright. People would be more aware of these issues. They would study, they would learn, and they would begin to, really grasp how the fundamentals of copyright work. And this just basically shows, nope. Didn't happen. People are still very, very much ignorant to copyright. That being said, though, compared to when I started doing Plagiarism Today in 2005, at least the myths and misunderstandings have gotten less dumb. I mean, in 2005, the most pervasive myth was that if it didn't have a copyright symbol, it was in the public domain, and that's totally false, totally provably false, and most people today don't fall for that one. They don't bite that one. That's been in the news enough. Most people, prior to that, people believe things like, well, it's not copyright infringement if you delete the file within 24 hours, or if you don't share it, or this or that, and those myths have largely been shot down too. And the news and file sharing lawsuits and all that, for all the bad they may have brought in some ways, that's one of the things they did do is raise public awareness of these particular issues when it comes to copyright. So take that for what it is. But yeah, some of the nuances like how to transfer copyright and things like that obviously have not sunk in, and most people don't seem to understand it. And I grant these are difficult areas of the law. We still have a lot of misconceptions around fair use. We still have a lot of misconceptions around derivative works, misconceptions around joint authorship. These confusing areas, widespread public confusion, and I understand. I'm confused about a lot of these things, and I get that. And so that's okay. But, just use your head and do a sanity check. Do you really think if posting something like that to your Facebook wall would actually supersede your terms of service that Facebook would let you do it? Of course not. They have to. I mean, you could think about it. It might not be just copyright. Maybe you could release yourself from indemnification for anything horrible you do to Facebook. You could do all kinds of things that would be way worse for Facebook that way. Facebook's not going to let you do that. That's silly. The law doesn't let you do that. You signed a contract fundamentally when you agreed to the Facebook terms, and for better or for worse, you're held to it. I'm held to it. We're all held to it. So that's it. I mean, really, that's all there is to it. So basically what I'm asking people is, if you don't understand how the law works, just do a sanity check. I think this failed the sanity check pretty roundly. On that note, everyone, thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow.